Liwei stood there looking completely unfazed, as if their previous encounter had never happened. But for Amara, the ground felt as if it had disappeared beneath her feet. Her heart pounded painfully as she struggled to keep her expression calm, silently praying that he wouldn't recognize her, or worse, expose her, in front of the interview panel. Amara's eyes met Liwei's the moment he walked into the room. Her mind spiraled with countless questions she couldn't even form properly. After he took his seat at the table, the other interviewers sat down too. But Liwei's cold, unreadable gaze stayed fixed on her, unwavering. For a brief moment, panic threatened to overwhelm Amara, but she forced herself to breathe, regain her composure, and focus. She refused to let this unexpected nightmare ruin such an important opportunity. The interview began, and the panel asked her a series of questions, each of which she answered with practiced ease and quiet confidence. She made sure not to let her eyes drift to Liwei, who sat silent, yet ever watchful, his presence looming like a cold shadow at the back of her mind. When they finally finished questioning her, she was ready to stand up and leave, her heart lighter, but Liwei's low voice cut through the room. He stated that he had a few questions of his own. Amara froze. Slowly, she sat back down, trying not to let her dread show on her face, her heart thundering in her chest. Liwei introduced himself to the room as the newly appointed director of the university, though Amara already knew all too well who he was. He asked her calmly if she had any criminal record. Amara replied with a steady voice that she didn't. His expression remained stone cold as he leaned back slightly, his eyes sharp, and asked if she was sure, if she had never been arrested for stalking or spying on people, especially celebrities she might be obsessed with. Amara's pulse spiked, but she held his gaze and answered firmly, stating that she was clean and that he was free to run a background check if he doubted her. A faint, almost mocking chuckle slipped past his lips. He shrugged and said there would be no need for that, pretending he might have confused her with someone else. Then, dismissing her with that same cold ease, he told her she could leave. Amara stood up, fighting to keep her head high, and walked out of the interview room, her hands clenched tightly around her bag. Once outside, she sank onto a bench near the student center, her mind swirling with frustration. Out of all the people in the world, why did it have to be him?